Okay, working out the geometry of the arm adjuster. The arm's off at the moment, and this represents what the plate is doing inside at the back here. The adjusting arm that's through here is now at the position that was originally way back. So that's the original position of the arm, the adjuster arm, and the seat arm sat horizontal. Now, just jumping ahead slightly, if that's the case and you want to adjust that arm, you can only adjust it downwards with that. If that adjusting setup is at the back, you can't adjust the arm upwards in any form, or conversely, when it is up, you can't adjust it back. So by setting that at the center through there instead of at the end of its travel, we can then adjust the arm from its central position when you put it on here. As I say, I'm jumping ahead. I'll go back to the flats in a minute. You can adjust the arm upwards or downwards from that point. So in effect, what happens is, if we line that up with that and we adjust that, you can see that this line representing the arm, so to speak, moves either up from its position or down from its position. So you've got full adjustment. Right, now in doing that, we have to alter the flat at this end, at the arm end. The mark here, if it shows up, I'm not sure, but the mark here, which is at 90 degrees to the pin, is at that point, at the center point here. Fine, that stays there no matter what. Now, if the seat arm wants to come up, there's the pin that comes to that position, and now this is still in line with the adjuster. You go back the other way, the arm's down, and that's still in line with the adjuster. Now you've got to orient the seat arm to the rest of the mechanism. So nothing has changed from the plate. We'll look at this as the plate, the flat coming through here and out to the arm. Right, the original flat was with that at the back, so it was across there, just there like that, and that's with that lined up with the arm at the back. Now if we bring that to here, obviously the flat produces the downwards movement of that arm, so we've got to bring the arm up to that position, which effectively is 15 degrees here, and I'll come back to that in a minute. 15 degrees. So we've got to adjust this flat in relationship to the back flat. So there's the back flat, that line through there, and the front line has to be about 15 degrees round from it, not as it is now, which is probably, I don't know, 25 degrees, not sure. Okay, now all that is fine, except that I have raked the seat forward by 10 degrees. So originally it was 65, and now it's 75 from the horizontal down this way. And to work all that out, if you look at the horizontal, vertical, you've got the 90 degrees here, and if you then transfer that as being this as the vertical, that as the horizontal, you've got 90 degrees in here, or 90 degrees in there, and the extra 15 goes on the bottom here. So when you add it all up, the 75 degrees from the horizontal around to that point, then the 90, and then the 15, 90, 15, 75, 180 degrees. It all works out. So, as I said before, no change to the plate, no change to the pin, no change to the backing of the pin, the actual long plate here. The only change to anything in reality is the relationship between the flat on the outside end and the flat on the inside end. And as I said, that depends a lot on where the seat back is and where this is, the relationship between the two. So if you drop this seat by 10 degrees, it'll bring that flat down 10 degrees to compensate for it. So if your armrest stays still and you bring that round, obviously the relationship of that flat, I don't know whether you can hear that rain, but it's bucketing down. The relationship of that flat is dependent on the pin position in here, the flat in here, and the arm out here. That should explain it all. So no changes to anything but the shaft. Right, now that that's done, the other point that I wanted to show was in this area, this plate, front and back, doesn't need to be up to the top here. It only needs to be to that area, to that point there. So my reasoning is, with that and that, well, look at it the other way. If that plate is not all the way through, then this plate can sit hard against this face and not have to be spread out both sides to try and slip over it. There's no need for that plate to be that high, top and bottom. This plate can go across, and then this would be riveted to there, and then this plate would be riveted straight to the angle of this chassis, straight onto it. It doesn't need it for strength or anything, and you'd save, I don't know, what, 130 or 40 square centimetres of aluminium, and you wouldn't have this unsightly sort of situation. So there you go. That would be a good way to go. And I've put that ferrule just back in for the purpose of doing this, but that's going to be out, and the shaft is going to be further out that way. I hope that describes it all in detail. And whoa, looky at that sky. Horrible. Okay, catch ya.